Max Bredesen, I believe, went to. So they had some things to say, and one that we flagged is the Bryce Underwood debate / kind of what's happening there, which is he's impressing. He for a guy who just had his senior prom 2 months ago, he is impressing on the field, but it's been made clear that this is still a real quarterback competition. So in theory, Bryce is going to have to fend off Mikey Keene and the other, I forget the other guy's name. I have it written here, but
Jake Garcia. Jake Garcia.
There it is. Yeah, Jake Garcia. Yeah.
Let's not forget Jaden Davis.
And hey, Jaden Davis is in the mix too, as well as Chase Herbstreit. Yeah. So look out, open competition. But what do you think about that first point and the Bryce Underwood competition?
Yeah, there's no competition. There's no competition. Now, listen, I understand this is, and I know Garrison's probably going to watch this one and be like, because he gave me some shit for saying there's a quarterback competition with his school. But here's what I'm going to say. And we already know this. We know this. Anyone who's watched our show, anyone who's paid attention knows this. 1 week into spring ball was done. It was over. He's starting week 1. They're not competing. Listen, I'm happy for Mikey Keene. I'm happy he's getting healthier. Happy for Jake Garcia. That's nice. Get some reps. You have to make Bryce Underwood feel like he's in a battle. Okay, you cannot allow him to get lackadaisical. Although it doesn't seem to be in his character to get lackadaisical. He seems to be very locked in.
It's not in his DNA to get lackadaisical, it feels like.
Approaches the game like a professional. He's already 6'5", 230 at 17. He turns 17 or he turns 18. What is it? August 16th, 18th, or 19th, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, man. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we know. It's Bryce Underwood's season. It's his time. It's his era. But coach is not going to say before Bryce Underwood's very first fall camp, hey, man, don't worry about it. You're starting. No, that's not what coaches do. Coaches push you. They make you feel like you have something to prove because they do. They still do. At the end of the day, he's 17. He's a freshman. He has to go into this camp every single day beating the guy next to him. That's what it is. But we know. And if anyone wants to bet me, I will take all bets, no cap on the money, that somebody else is starting over Bryce Underwood week 1, barring injury. Holler at your boy. I'll take all bets.
Yeah. And you know, somebody had called this a while back that Bryce Underwood would beat out Mikey Keene. And pre-injury even, I said Bryce was going to beat him out. And obviously now it's kind of almost a foregone conclusion because of the injury. So it feels like my victory is going to be a little hollow.
Yeah, I got $1,000 bet on Bryce Underwood starting already. So we're definitely going to be capitalizing and collecting that one. So anyone who watched our show knows exactly what I'm talking about. We won't name no names out of respect to the individual who made the bet, but he will be paying up. I promise you.
All right. So we have not exactly been shy about our thoughts on this. The wide receiver room still needs work. Donovan McCauley, who is obviously an Indiana transfer, has been awarded the number 1 numbered jersey.
Yep.
Obviously, most recently utilized by Roman Wilson in the national championship. So that is concerning. Why is that concerning? Because out of the 15 or 16 wide receivers in that lineup, he is the one being given the number 1 jersey. Now, we said that would happen. We said he was going to be the X. We said he was going to be the X. But it's still, I think we could agree that when longtime talent like Samaj Morgan and others who have been in the program are passed over for that number 1 jersey for Donovan McCauley, it kind of speaks to the lack of coaching, the bad coaching that happened the previous years, because otherwise a transfer wouldn't be winning that jersey.
Yeah, and here's where we are with this, right? So we never, full clarity, never predicted that McCoy would be wearing wide receiver, wearing the number 1 his first season here. Never said that. But what I have said strongly since he committed in the transfer portal is this is going to be our starting X wide receiver. And I have said all offseason, he is going to lead the team in yards and touchdowns. Maybe not receptions, but yards and touchdowns. He will definitely lead the team in yards and touchdowns. I have felt that all offseason. I am not surprised that he's going to be wearing wide receiver 1. He's going to be our alpha this year. He's going to be Bryce's go-to, in my opinion. And I expect him to have a big year. I think he is going to get 1,000 yards. I do think he'll get 1,000 yards. How many touchdowns? Great question. I mean, I would say 8 or 9 would probably be where I'd feel comfortable putting him at. I don't know if he's going to reach double-digit touchdowns, but if he does, that'd be wonderful. But I do think he's going to get 1,000 yards. I do think he's going to get around 8 or 9 touchdowns. I think he'll lead the team in both categories. Receptions, we'll see there. I just don't think they'll utilize him in that way. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. It only reconfirms, again, this is what I mean. This is what I love about doing this. It only reconfirms what I believe McCoy would be for this offense coming into the year. He's wearing number 1. And somebody asked in the comments, do we feel that they're handing out that number too loosely? I personally would like to see that number earned. Like, you have to perform before you can wear that number. That number should not be given to anybody who has not performed, in my opinion. But it is what it is. It's an incentive that the coaches are using. Shamari Rose is rocking the 2 this year. We know how legendary, iconic that number is. The number 1 is one of the other iconic numbers. So, let's see. Hoping for the best, and hopefully in the future it does get to a point where the number is earned and not given. But we'll see. We'll see, man.
Yeah. So I am excited about Donovan McCulley, and I also do think, based on some of what I heard at Big Ten Media Days and also separately, Samaj Morgan and Fred Moore, you guys are on notice. So I'm a Fred Moore fan. I'm a Fred Moore fan, but who's behind him in the depth chart? Right. Well, how about a guy who is named Andrew Marsh, and how about what's his name, Jamar Browder? Yeah, they are in the depth chart here. They are extremely talented at the Z position. And so Fred Moore is going to have to fight to keep that job. Samaj Morgan is going to have to fend off Channing Goodwin and Simpson. So these are 2 receivers that they're starting right now. They're on the starting depth chart right now, but they are going to need to play extremely well to fend off this young talent that is clearly nipping at their heels.
To your point, John, think about this. Donovan McCoy was given the number 1. He hasn't even played. So what does that say to Samaj Morgan and Fred Moore, who have been here for a year? Think about that. That in itself, through action, tells you all you need to know. The coaching staff already looks at McCoy as he's going to be that, which, listen, I have felt that way since December. It's quite clear he's likely going to be our alpha, our alpha wide receiver this season, but it's still telling, so let's see if Channing Goodwin, if Andrew Marsh, if Anthony Simpson, if Jamar Browder can push for these starting positions this season. I think they will push. I would not be confident. John, would you be confident in saying at the end of the season, last game of the year, our starting lineup is McCulley, Samaj Morgan, and Fred Moore? Are you confident in that starting lineup? Or do you think by the end of the year, somebody is going to take that lead, whether it be the Y or the Z at some point this season?
I think it could be both. I think it could be Channing Goodwin and Andrew Marsh taking those jobs over. Yeah, it could be both of them.
Or it could be Anthony Simpson taking over the Y, and then Andrew Marsh taking over the Z. Exactly, though. Exactly. So yeah, I'm very interested to see how this plays out. The good news is we should have players in the wide receiver room who can challenge for that starting spot. That's the good news. There is talent in the room, but the talent has to produce.
So this next super chat is a great intro for our third take on this topic. Elisha Bowman with the $1.99. Oklahoma was 130th in sacks allowed. Time to eat. Yeah, Oklahoma and Venables are known for their defense, right? But
yeah, they have offensive issues. We know this. Like they, all right. So I didn't know they were ranked 130th. That's wild. That's actually amazing.
That is wild.
It's an amazing stat, Elijah. Elijah always finding the good stats. Yeah. So I mean, look, that's epic because this defense is. Yeah, to John's point, we're going to talk about next. This fucking defense is going to eat. This defensive line. I forgot who it was who said this. I think maybe it was Isaiah Hole. So I want to give credit where it is. He says Michigan, and I have not said this all offseason, but since I listened to Isaiah Hole, he was on Crane and Company. I did watch that. He said that it's possible this is the best front seven in America. And you know what? The more I think about it, it very well could be. Because we already talked about Jayshon Barham. We've already talked about Ernest Hausman, what we think these linebackers can do. But this defensive line, which we're going to get into here, John, into Sharon Moore, do you have Sharon Moore's quote, or do you want me to paraphrase it?
Go for it.
All right. So essentially, Sharon Moore said, we are 8 to 10 deep on this defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And on Thursday's show, we were kind of trying to break it down. He said 6 interior, 4 on the edge. So my thought was, who are these 6 on the interior? The 6 I was thinking was Cameron Brandt, Trey Williams, Rayshawn Benny, Damon Payne, Trey Pierce, and Inaweta. On the edge, I have Derek Moore, Dominic Nichols, and TJ Guy. But I have thought about it more. Are they looking at Cameron Brandt as more of an edge? Although he's not. He's more of a hybrid 4-eye, Chris Jenkins role. And then is Ike Iwana that actual 6-inch interior guy? I'm not sure. Or is Nate Marshall impressing and he's the 4th edge? I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, we have depth. We have talent. This defensive line should be fast, strong, powerful, getting to the quarterback, and fresh, because we're going to be rotating like we always do. I'm excited about it. And I do think this front seven has the potential to be the best front seven in America. I really do think so.
Yeah. It looks like Brandt. So they see Brandt at edge. I mean,
but he's not. But the thing about Brandt is he's not playing rush edge. He's not playing Sam. I mean, he's playing at best close end, or he's playing like the keys to me. It's Chris Jenkins' role. Jenkins played a little on the outside. I mean, I feel like if that's the case, then that's the case. It's fair, but then I would argue it's probably Ike Iwana who's the 6th interior, which would be interesting to see because I'd like to see him develop. I'd like to see Ike Iwana become a contributor on this defense.
Yeah, watch out for Dominic Nichols too. Try saying that 10 times fast. Watch out for Dominic Nichols because he's put on a little bit of good weight, and he's been turning some heads. So watch out for him. Watch out for Nate Marshall, even though to at least get some play. I'm not saying he's going to be starting, but I'm saying he's going to get some play.
I think you'll see Nate Marshall, at the end of games if Michigan's handling business. I think that's when you'll see him get his opportunity.
Yeah, so I think this bodes very well for the line, and if you can rotate, and Wink does love to rotate. If you can rotate effectively and you have that type of depth, and you're able to, like it in the ReliaQuest Bowl, you're literally it's like old school Alabama, which is funny because we played Alabama, but no, how they used to just reload. Well, at the D-line position, that's what Michigan's doing. They literally just replace their NFL first round draft picks with in the ReliaQuest Bowl, and it felt like they didn't skip a beat. So that shows depth, and that just has continued. So kudos to the D-line there. There are some questions in a couple of positions at left tackle, at right guard, and there is some speculation that Andrew Babalola is really making a play for left tackle, and it would be an extremely rare occurrence. But I want to remind everybody what was our O-line position preview months ago, what did we say? Who did we say was going to be left tackle? Andrew Babalola. So just saying, we called it. Evan Link may need to be moved to right guard, or he might just be riding the bench.
So, yeah, I mean, look, one thing we've talked about is left tackle concern. Guess what? We have said that since when, John? Spring ball. It appears to be a common theme going into what? Fall camp.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we don't bullshit. We call it like we see it, right? Now, the Andrew Babalola thing, John, I'll give you a little more credit there. I've been of the position. I'm not sure if Andrew, my position on freshman starting. I've been of the position of not sure. Is it going to be Blake Frazier? Is it going to be Andrew Babalola? Can Evan Link figure it out in time? Is he going to be inconsistent? Because that seems to be one of his biggest hurdles outside of being a step slow sometimes on the outside. We'll see. It does appear, though, John, I'll say this about Andrew Babalola. It does kind of appear that there's like a bit of a buzz that Andrew Babalola could be the left tackle. I don't know, though. Like, so if you had to ask, like, and I think you did ask me, or maybe it was in our group chat with Kinetic and them, but I feel Babalola, I feel like if he starts at left tackle, it'll be at some point in the season, maybe week 4, maybe week 6, 7. At some point, they'll find it right to put him in. I think Evan Link is going to get the opportunity at left tackle to start the year, but it's possible Blake Frazier claims that in fall camp. So, but again, though, like anyone who's watched us, I know Michigan Gander, because he's giving me a lot of shit about my take on the offensive line. Wide receiver and left tackle are the concerns of this team. And if they can figure it out in fall ball, we're going to be in a very good position. I feel very good about the other 4 positions on this offensive line. And then, but to the point of is if Andrew Babalola becomes that left tackle, John, the future of this team is bright. Andrew Sprague is how you pronounce it. I just learned it's Sprague, not Sprague. So Andrew Sprague. Yeah. Nathan Afobe, possibly Andrew Babalola, Ty Haywood. The future of this offensive line is nasty good. Obviously, if we can keep Malachi Lee and co, obviously great. Then you look at the youth. If we can get Savion Hyder, Bryce Underwood, Andrew Marsh, you got Jamar Browder. I mean, the future of this offense looks so good. Andrew Olish, just kidding. I still dream about it. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm extremely optimistic again. We get Savion Hyder, bro. Yeah, big time. But yeah, and then the defense, we know what this defensive line class is looking like. We know what that secondary class looked like last year. They're building here, boys. They're building. We're building a team that is going to be very good. So, and let's not forget the number 1 kicker in the nation coming, which we haven't even talked about. We got to we'll have to hit on that at some point in the show. What is it? Mike, how do you say his last name? I think it's Mike Drescher, number 1 kicker in the nation, boys. We'll talk at the end of the show. I want to hit on that, John. I want to hit on that. So let's remember that.
Okay.
Because I got some interesting info on that.
Yeah, that is a big deal because we have the number 1 kicker in the nation right now, and then you just continue it next year.
Hey, let's go. So let's get that going. Let our show community run with it. Dominic Zavada is Legatron. Let's run with that. That's Legatron. Okay. Legatron is Dominic Zavada. That started here. Voice of college football, Michigan voice of college football. Let's go. Let's take it. Let's run with that. Because there's no doubt about it. He's the number 1 kicker in the nation, going to the NFL, probably going to win the Lou Gorzo Award. Let's effing go, boys.
Love it. And of course, as Isaiah Hull reported, Derek Moore saying about Ohio State at Big Ten Media Days, I'll congratulate them on the national title, aka the win, but it's not a real win if y'all ain't beat us. And the Michigan number 1 goal, national championship, that would be great. But you know what's even more important to Michigan? And this was said at Big Ten Media Days. Beat the Buckeyes again. No red and green allowed in this facility, TJ. Beat the Buckeyes. And that also ties into the flag planning that Sharon Moore mentioned was no longer going to be the case due to the whining of the Buckeyes.
Crybaby ass bitches.
Yeah.
So Did you see Adam Schefter has the no green and no red beyond this point on his office? Did you see that?
Oh, I didn't know he had that in his office.
Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, he's got the sign on his desk, man. Which is epic.
How about that?
Yeah, so look, if we can get 5 in a row on them and them boys, obviously great and epic. Let's see. I'm looking for the thing while I'm talking about it. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm excited about it. I'll say this though. I would listen, if someone asked me, and Buckeyes, you want to run with this, go for it. Hey, maybe you lose to the Buckeyes this year, but you win a national title. I'd fucking do it. You know, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I would. But that said, I'd rather win a national title. Or I mean, I'm sorry, I'd rather beat the Buckeyes than just win. I'd rather beat the Buckeyes than win the ReliaQuest Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like any other bowl game. 100%. And 5 in a row is going to be absolutely beautiful. And I feel we're going to get 5 in a row, I'll be honest with you. But let's see. Like, I don't know if I can find it, John. But yeah, he's got it in his office now. It's pretty sweet. Oh, just kidding. Yes, I did. I found it. Check this out. See, it just means more, John. See the sign in the background?
No red or green.
It just means more, John.
Wow. How about that?
Look at that. Look at the helmet. Look at that. Best helmet in the fucking game, boys.
It is a beautiful helmet.
It is.
But the more that they whine, and the more that they talk about the hammer, and the more that they talk about, and we're going to get to the Jack Sawyer versus Connor Stallions debate in a little bit here, but the whining over 2022 and like this just makes the wins so much sweeter. Like when this is what we hear all off season. Ohio State can't, this is the title of the episode. Ohio State can't handle losing. They can't handle it. They completely lose their minds because deep down they know that their national title, I won't call it a Mickey Mouse title, but what I will say is if I were in their shoes, it would feel a little hollow. I'm not going to lie. If Michigan won a national title and lost to Ohio State, for me, I can't speak to anybody else, but for me, it would feel a little bit hollow. Like, yay, but also, there's this feeling in the pit of your stomach, like you didn't quite get the job done.
Yeah, and I think they do feel that a little bit. I'll say this, though. Okay, look. You win the Natty. That's obviously the end prize goal. That fucking is what's up, okay? Now, there's no doubt by not beating us, it's not as sweet. And there's no doubt by losing 4 in a row at home with the best roster, it's definitely not as sweet. And they know that. They just cope and lie to themselves. Oh, we had the greatest run in national championships. The first time there was a 12 fucking team playoff, you had the greatest. Yeah, because every team's a top 10 team, boys. But yeah, I mean, like, listen, if you don't beat the rival on your road to a title, it's not as sweet as it could have been. It's still sweet, though. I mean, it's still sweet. A natty's a natty, especially in this era, because it's, if anything, it's more competitive now than it's ever been. So I'll give them, although, I mean, then somebody would argue, is it? Because only four teams got in before. So is it really more competitive? Because actually the field opened up, so maybe it's less competitive. But I'd argue there's more parity in college football now. But to that point, John, yeah, I mean, look, the rivalry, it means a lot, man. You know, and we own it right now. They just want to downplay it, you know, because it's not the most fierce rivalry in college football, John.
Yeah, it's
you know who made that argument, right? You know who made that argument?
Who made that argument?
Garrison.
That it wasn't.
He says it's the most important rivalry, but it's not the most fierce rivalry. He says I don't even want to. I feel bad now I brought this up. He's like, Auburn, Alabama was the most fierce rivalry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, bro. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool, though.
Yeah.
I get it. It's cool. You know,
Look,
it's a defense mechanism. You know, it helps you from being too sad. I get it. I get it, man.
Look, Cope is all. And by the way, we appreciate the marketing by putting our show on Garrison's show. Thank you for that. And we encourage